Hello everyone, Jaeger Bombastic here, and this video is going to be a bit different than usual. Instead of my usual montage or cool or funny moments video, I'm going to be doing a Skyrim character build. And this build is going to be called the Fearmonger. Now, the Fearmonger's original name was Rhaegar, and Rhaegar lived in Winterhold with his son. His daughter and wife were dead. They were taken by the cold. Now, Rhaegar's son was strong and very good with the bow. He was about 14 years old and really loved to chop wood. The land and environment had taught his son to be mature and smart. One day, Rhaegar and his son decided to have a little fire. Rhaegar allowed his son to go out and hunt an elk. His son went out, being very proficient with the bow, and immediately killed an elk. He dragged it all the way home, as it bled through the snow. When he got home, though, he decided not to immediately skin the elk. First, he decided to chop some wood. He chopped some wood and got the fire all started, and then sat down by the fire to skin his elk, while talking to his father, Rhaegar. As they talked, Rhaegar remembered that he had blackbriar mead inside of his house, so he quickly got up and ran inside to grab the mead. When he got inside, he heard some yelling and screaming and clattering of iron outside of his house. He quickly grabbed his wood axe and ran outside. He saw a bunch of bandits outside who had seized his son. One bandit had his back turned to him, so he planted the wood axe in the bandit's back. And suddenly, after he did that, two bandits seized him from behind, grabbing both of his arms and forcing him to his knees. And as they held him there, an arrow flew through the air into Rhaegar's left shoulder. The bandit leader, a beefy wood elf with a bow, dropped down from a tree. He then looked at Rhaegar and shot his other shoulder to even it out. The bandit chief then walked up to Rhaegar's son and began beating him. After he finished beating him, he threw him by the wood chopping block and walked to Rhaegar. When he got to Rhaegar, he grabbed Rhaegar by the head and kneed him in the face with his steel-cuffed boot. He then took the wood axe and walked over to Rhaegar's son. Rhaegar's son tried to scream, but all that came out was blood. The bandit chief then cut off his son's head. Rhaegar screamed and did not stop. The bandit chief told his minions to either shut Rhaegar up or kill him, or both if they wanted to. The bandits then began to beat Rhaegar until he was face down in the snow, covered in his own blood. The bandits then grabbed the bloody elk and the mead and returned to their hideout. Days later, Rhaegar woke up. His lips were purple. He had pale skin. His fingers were black and white. His face was completely scarred, as well as the rest of his body, and his hair had turned from brown to white. He gets up slowly, first to his knees and then to his feet, and he stumbles over to his son. But he was too coward to even touch his son's lifeless body. He looks at his son and begins to feel enraged. He picks up the wood axe and follows the trail of elk blood to the bandit's hideout. When he gets there, he begins to scream and yell, and he kills all of the bandits, except one, the chief. When he gets to the chief, he starts hitting him with the wood axe, and he does not stop. But when he does stop, he stares into the crimson pool of blood that he has created, and he sees his own red eyes staring back, thus beginning the story of the Fearmonger. Now on to the Fearmonger's skills and appearance. His appearance is, he has white hair, a long white beard, he's very big and built, and he's old. Now for skills, you want to use light armor, and you want to put 5 points into the first slot of light armor. And you can use heavy armor since you'll be wearing heavy armor gauntlets and boots, but that's optional. Now for weapons, you're going to use the two-handed skill, and you want to put 5 points into the first slot of the two-handed skill. And then after that, you want to put 3 into limb splitter, and then after that, you want to just climb straight up the tree. You can use enchanting and smithing to keep you alive a bit longer, but that's optional as well. Now for the gear you'll be wearing and using. You'll be wearing fur armor that allows you to see your chest, and iron gauntlets that you scavenged from the bandits you killed while avenging your son. Steel-cuffed boots that you took from the bandit chief that you murdered. And for weapons, you're going to want to use the Headsman's Axe, which you get in a quest from Solitude, from the Headsman, or a Steel Battle Axe or Skyforged Steel Battle Axe, enchanted with Flame. Now the powers you'll use are mainly Battlecry, Disarm, Dismay, Cyclone, and Stormcall. You want to use Battlecry to instill fear into the hearts of your enemies. Disarm and Dismay are to create confusion. Cyclone and Stormcall are to create chaos, which equals fear. You want to put most of your perk points into health, and the way I see it is, after laying nearly dead with frostbite for a couple of days, he should be able to take a bit of damage. And this concludes the Fearmonger. And if you liked it, like and subscribe, and if you have any ways that you could help me improve, then comment. Thank you, and goodbye.